Well, let's go on to the next aspect of this talk that we were having. Whenever there are disturbances in some parts of the country, there is a local shutdown of internet, which can be extended to a state level if the administration wants to. Now, in Nuh and Manipur, one of the first things that the administration did was to clamp down on the internet, which it believes will be used for spreading misinformation, hate, and also gather up mobs that can cause harm to life and public as well as private property. Now, currently there is an internet ban and it affects almost 4 districts till August 5th when it comes to the Haryana sector. Now, the internet shutdown is allowed under the temporary suspension of telecom services, public emergency and public safety rules of 2017, which is published under the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885. Now, it's a very old act and there's a provision that has been put for internet clampdown under that. Now, according to the 2017 rules, telecom services may be temporarily shut down in a zone for up to 15 days at once. So, that is how the rule can be implemented. It is to say that for 15 days there can be a complete internet shutdown if the administration thinks it has to be done. Now, here in Haryana, there has been a small window that has started from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. onwards for the internet services to be restored. Why the government is doing this is because the CET hall tickets have to be downloaded. So, for that period, a grace period of 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. has been done so that students appearing for the state CET exams can download their respective hall tickets. For that, they've given a small window of opportunity, but after that, the internet clampdown will be coming in again. Now, we are also joined in to discuss about this as well. We have Pawan Dugal, who is an advocate at the Supreme Court and a cybercrime expert, who will also be joining us on Zoom on this. But Brijesh, let me come to you first. You know, whenever we think about violence, disturbances in the area, the first thing that comes is internet shutdown. And then when we talk about internet shutdown, India is one of those countries, you know, in the last year, at least, I think almost 86 cases of internet shutdown has been reported. Before that, it was 106, I think, internet shutdowns have been reported as of now. So, internet shutdown has been part and parcel to control violence. But at the same time, many of them say that the sudden internet shutdowns tend to affect with the digital India aspect as well, where, you know, many companies tend to in fact face that trouble. Because most of them try to work on the internet factor, they try to trade on internet, they try to use most of their daily activities on internet. Now, all our activities have come onto the internet, our payments, as well as orders, everything is, our businesses are on the internet. So, it does tend to affect day-to-day life, but this is an inevitable sword that we have to swallow.
Well, you know, there's no doubt that you are inconvenienced when there's an internet clampdown. But the fact also is there, Varghese, that the kind of role internet plays in flaring up of certain situation is also cannot be discounted. You know, the connect is so much. Like if you were talking about Manipur, the fact is that, you know, one of the key flare-ups, you know, the 3-4 key flare-ups, the video which came out was a result of a WhatsApp message which was circulated in many, which later turned out to be a fake WhatsApp message, which says that a Maiti woman has been brutally hacked to death, and the case was of West Bengal. And that message was circulated, leading to you know, massive flare up and leading to large scale violence, and police had to, like, you know, really really work triply hard to contain the situation. The same is with what happened in Nuh. I'm not saying that that is the only thing, but one of the key catalyst part was played by the WhatsApp messages which were circulated on Facebook, which was circulated through WhatsApp and all, and which led to this massive flare up in Nuh and adjoining district. So, you know, what police tends to do is they tend to overdo it. They tend to overdo it, but I cannot but discount the fact that the kind of our lives are integrated with internet to a level where, you know, everybody, we see the internet is more glued to your body rather than most of the other things. And with the kind of fake messages and the problem of fake messages, incendiary messages which is there, one WhatsApp messages can cause 10 times more harm than any other statement or speech or a rally can.
So let me get in Pawan Dugal into the discussion as well. Pawan Dugal, do you see internet bans being a double-edged sword? On one side, we are trying to promote connectivity, electronic feasibility about carrying on with our businesses, making it more convenient. But on the other side, the same facility is being used by rioters, especially like in Nuh or in Manipur, to gather mobs, to organize violence. So when an internet clampdown happens, it completely affects us on both sides. It also affects our ability, when we talk about digital India and digitization, it also affects that ability of ours to be convenienced or better integrated. But at the same time, when law and order kicks in, it disrupts the entire process itself. So where can we draw a balance in this? Is it that we have to live with it, that internet shutdowns are going to be there when there is disturbances in areas?
Well, internet shutdowns are often relied upon by sovereign governments as part of their sovereign functions so as to protect public order and public unrest. But having said that, you have to realize that things have dramatically changed post COVID-19. Now, internet is not just an integral part of our lives, it's a foundation of our day-to-day communication and business activities. So the moment you're going to shut down an internet for ostensible law and order purposes, you have to understand the kind of a collateral impact it's going to have, because all the businesses, all the offices, all commercial activities in that particular area are going to come to a grinding halt, which can itself be a loss ranging from a few crore rupees every minute to a much, much more bigger figure. So in a scenario like this, whenever a government is faced with the issue as to whether it should order an internet clampdown, it must now try to adopt a golden balance. Prior to COVID-19, it was a default option. Anything happened, you just first switch off the internet and think that everything is hunky-dory. That still was not the complete key for a massive success. There were still indirect ways how this entire ban could be mitigated against. But having said that, now post-COVID-19, I think governments will have to be extremely slow. Yes, in a scenario like this, when it's prejudicially going to impact national sovereignty, security, and integrity, the government has the right under the law to go ahead and block internet, but it should be a resort that should be resorted to at the least possible opportunity, not as a matter of given default. Just because the law allows you does not mean you should be able to do it. In fact, the maximum you can actually postponing the go ahead and clamp down on the internet, the better it will be. Let's try to look at other mechanisms of how we can potentially avoid communal hatred and other related issues. But all said and done, it's the subjective call of the relevant government at the relevant time. They have the power, they want to do it, they can do it. However, in public interest, in broader public opinion, and in the interest of the nation at large, a golden balance will have to be obtained and maintained before or between two competing interests. One, the interest of the sovereign government to go ahead and protect law and order. On the other hand, to also go ahead and protect legitimate, bona fide commercial activities and communications that are taking place. Just because there are a couple of handful of miscreants who are going ahead and misusing the internet does not mean that you deprive the majority of the law-abiding population to access to internet. So I think it's a difficult decision, but again, no golden principles, each case to its own facts.
A.K. Jain, how do you see it? That when Pawan Dugal says that we should not look at it as the default option and probably, see it as an option if it is going to become quite inevitable. But do you think that default internet ban is the way forward to control the situation on the ground? Because for you as a person who has to enforce law, how do you in fact see that?
I 100% agree with Mr. Dugal. It is not a solution. It is not a solution if people are misusing internet, and if they are spreading rumors, action should be taken against them. There should be proper monitoring of social media. Suspected numbers should be on surveillance, and such people should be booked if they are creating trouble and if they are out to create a communal riot. So you have to create an atmosphere in the district. I don't agree with this internet shutdown at all. You can do it for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and when the forces are on the ground and situation is under control, it should be lifted at once.
So you agree that the prolonged internet shutdown is not a solution to this issue of disturbances?
Yes, it should be imposed only for a period when it takes some time for the forces to reach the spot. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. You can shut down internet for that period. Once forces are there, once they have taken control of the situation, then it should be immediately lifted, because otherwise it leads to a lot of rumor mongering also because the internet is banned. People keep on spreading all sorts of rumors. There are so many other ways when people can communicate with each other in this age, and it should not be resorted to by police for a very long time. I consider it a weakness on the part of administration and police.
Well, it tends to be a weakness. Mr. Rao, how do you, in fact, see this particular aspect when we talk about internet shutdown?
Look, I fully agree with Mr. Diggal too on the point that it should be a balance and golden principle should be levied. No doubt, this internet is spreading rumors, but I also agree with Mr. Jain that it should not be having a blanket ban on all the internet in that area. The mischief monger should be identified by way of intelligence network, because when there was no internet, even then these such type of violence were controlled by the police and administration. Now there is a shortcut method of that shut down each and every place of this internet. That is not, I think, warranted. No doubt, when there is some seriousness of the incident, for some time it can be. But I must say that the government should and the police should identify those persons who are using that thing. There should be a mechanism of identifying the misusers of this internet. Only then their internet should be banned, or they should be taken to the task, having preventive action against those people who are found to be and suspected to be involved in such type of cases. So the blanket ban on internet for a long time, that is not advisable at all. That the government and the administration should think about it, because the innocent people are being harassed and harmed by this blanket and the long time internet ban. So the police should find out so many other ways and means to control the situation. Not only this, this is the shortcut method of banning this internet in that area.